Many therapists will tell you to look at your inner child and be the person that they needed as they grew into you. I see mine, 8 years old, so innocent and bright, and I feel the pressure of what that child needed. All that I can think of is how I'm failing him. My mother says she's worried about me and therefore him. She hands me her worry like she handed it to him all those years ago. If I could do it over, I would forge a different path, not in the experiences he will have, but in the ways he will experience all of them. What might have happened to him if the teen that he became did not have to dull his shine, hide his inner light for fear of what would be said? What would it have been like if the generational trauma had been contained before him instead of rushing through his mother, too much for her to bear? She took a brunt of it, stopped much of it herself, but not enough to stop the pain, the sorrow of the past from settling into his joints. And what fearlessness might have been if he hadn't heard our father's words, the violent threats of ignorance that dripped off the paternal tongue. What could his life have been if the adults that he needed had been the ones who raised him? If he hadn't had to learn the ways to watch, to calculate, to absorb the pain around him. I see him now, at 8 years old, before the thick of it. I want so bad to save him, but I can barely save myself. I stand here in the present, that inner child naive looking back at me across the chasm where the teen between us fell and shattered. If those therapists are to be believed, I need to be the one that both of them and all the others needed on the path. It's just another burden I feel placed onto my back. I turn desperately to find some future aged me, perhaps myself at 60, to be the one I need right now. But the future is unwritten, unlike the past with its marks upon my bones. So I'm here, alone again, with the expectant eyes of 8-year me trained on my life. There are ways he'd be impressed, but others I'm not sure. Only now do I realize how he really scares me. I'm afraid he'll look at me and say the things I know will be said to him in his future, in my past. And so I have become a snake consuming its own tail, terrified of being wounded by all my former me's. In the flash of disappointment, I feel that I've become.